Alrighty. Alright, so hello folks. This is part two of my Camaro build. As you guys can see, part one, I just did some basic setup on the block. I've got it a little further along, as you guys can see. I've got the cylinder heads in, and this is kind of the crankshaft. You guys can see a nice little gear in there. So what I'm going to do is, because I was trying to find my book and I found it fell under there, I've found it. So I'm going to go back to the page that I was currently at, and I'm going to continue building this. So the next part is 13. It's going to involve one of these little T-pieces. Me losing one of these little T-pieces. Let's see if I can find one. And I'm going to need two small little itty-bitty things here. So I'm going to put one in here and one over here. And it says to do this, and I'm probably thinking it's probably going to happen on the other side as well. So, without breaking this thing. You guys can see, I'm going to hold this. You guys can see this is going to turn. So what this is going to do, is the way they have these cams all put up, they're eventually going to get in there. I'm trying to be very gentle, so I'm going to hold this piece. Always hold your pieces. And I don't have these the other way, and I don't have these the same way up, so actually I do have them the same way. All right, that one in. So I bet you item 14 is like 100. I'm just gonna let you lay it on you guys right now. There's 100 and there's 180. Is there 180? Yeah, there's 179 steps. So I'm gonna be here a while. So I'm gonna be doing this build process a lot. So, and I hope you guys come along for the ride. So 14. So 14 is nope. 14 is a little different. So this next part is going to involve these L-shaped pieces, these ones right here. And they're also going to involve these two little guys right here. So I want to make sure I get this right. So because I remember, because if I remember right, I did my McLaren model a couple of years back, and that didn't go too well. So it's asking me to put the L shape, the tall L shape. Let's make sure there's no other L pieces. It's telling me to put these L pieces with the L, with the letter L doing this one, with the L going this way. So what this is going to do is this is going to test my ability to line these up and lock these in place. Once you get one, usually you can hold the side of the. Usually you can hold the side of the pieces, and usually what you do is you usually guide one in. And you pull it towards you so that you don't do what I just did. What you do is you pull towards you. And then the other one should lock in place. So if you hold the piece together like I am, you can avoid killing yourself in the process. Okay, locked in. That's good. So the next bit is going to be item 15. And this is where this gets really fun, because a lot of these pieces have to go in a certain way. So what I'm going to do is these pieces are going to go here. They're not going to go fully in because they are obviously going to connect to another piece, and the little short piece is out. For those of you, just do it this way. Because something is going to be locking in the middle here. So what does this call for? So another T section. So another T section, so I'm going to have to employ another one. So this is another T section. And I'm going to need one of these little guys right here. Push this right in there, and I'm going to need one of these gray caps. Like so. And then I'm going to need 2 of these. If I can find them. And I'm going to need 2 of these, and these are going to bolt. These are going to bolt right in this, right in that part of the T section. I'm going to need 2 blue bolts. Well, 2 blue. And these have little plus signs on them. If you guys can't see that, that's not focusing for you. That's because, well, let's see. So that plus section right here, that blue one, just going to point out. And that's going to lock in there. I'm going to put this in the other block, and you're going to see the plus section again. And how this cookie is gonna crumble is this is gonna go right above this little guy right here and slip in right there. That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And then to finish the transformation, to lock this in place so this doesn't move. As I said, lock one side. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. So, Alright, lock that in. Now I have to pull you out. I might have to do this over again because I pushed. The wrong one in. So this is supposed to lock this in right here. Alright, those should line up. What I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to find a way to get this one out without ruining my model. There we go. Legal simplicity to the rescue, folks, and you can see that's not going to move. That's not going to move at all. Next step. I'm going to need one of those yellow pieces. So I'm going to need one of these. So I'm going to need one of these. And I'm going to need one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. This is a little easier. I just have to make sure this is not off kilter because it will not lock in if I don't do this right. So this is our crankshaft. So this is going to be the very rudimentary crankshaft. So that's going to be our crankshaft. So ooh, this gets a little intense here. And we're going to start to need green parts. So I want to make sure I have all the bits and pieces so I can do this. I see the green bits. All right, so I'm going to do this now. So all right, so it's calling for two of these. So this is most likely going to be part of, so now that I've gotten the crankcase all done and this is no longer going to move, we're going to be free to do the rest of the engine. So this is pretty cool. So what this is going to call for is, this is going to call for me to bring one of these green pieces. What this is going to do, So we're going to need a green piece, one of those ended, and one of those red bits. So, and we're going to do 2 of these. So, because one's going to go on one side, the other one's going to lock into the little mounts here. One's just going to go into these little mounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put lock the green one. I'm just going to do these for both at the same time. Do that like so. And then for the next bit, so for the next bit, I need one of these. I'm going to do this right, make sure this is all set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to need one of these. And what's going to happen is this is going to go through here. We're going to get one of these red washer style things. To lock that in place. And then we're also going to do that for the other one. Put this in there, get one of those red washers, washer type things. Gently lock it in place. And the book is asking me to take this and lock that in there. And the book is asking me to do it on the other side as well. I was just going to say, I'm like, that didn't look even. So, I'm going to flip this. Okie dokie. This is going to get a little intense. So, the next bit is calling for these 2 guys. These guys right here. And also I'm going to want the long blue. I need the short blue ones, and I need the little bulb looking thing. And I also need some black parts. I need a lot of stuff here, so I need quite a bit, so I have to do this correctly. Very correctly. So, all right. So I'm going to start with the little wing bit here. And I'm going to need one of these, mount one of those right there. Take these red pylon style things. Which hole to put it in? So there's an L-shaped one, so right next to the L-shaped one. Then I need a long boy, a sort of long boy. That is going to be going smokestack up. And then this is going to be going on top. Oh, I see what's happening. And then a little black one's going to be going on the end here. So that's going to be lining up I snafu'd on a part, as usual. Let me... So the green bit is supposed to be going inside. My bad. And now I have to find my part. See where it dropped off to. Ah, here it is. This is supposed to be going on in here. And I got to do that to the other side as well, so... Because, you know, I was looking at the diagram and noticed something wasn't quite matching up. So best to do it early in the build rather than a million years into the build when you... when you've invested a lot of time into the build, so... And then you sit there and like, damn it, I shouldn't have put that part, that doesn't make sense. So now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this part and now I'm going to try to resurface it. So it's calling for this to go in this way. So it's going to be there we go. And now I have to do the same thing to the other side, so the same thing to the other side. But I will do that. In episode 3. I wanted to show you guys just how much I built. I think I've probably been here for 36 minutes, probably. Yes, I have. So I'm just wanted to make a little more leeway into this build. As I said, it took me like half an hour, like 40 minutes to get any decent progress. But as you guys can see, it's little things like this that kind of make the difference. And in the next episode, in episode 3, I will do more. So I'm going to release this probably soon. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out.